Hello and welcome to our series on Harvard referencing. This video will look at in-text citations. If you haven't checked out our previous videos on Harvard referencing and why we need to use it, check that out now. Harvard referencing is a two-part process, the in-text citation and the reference list. The in-text citation, which goes in the main body of your assignment, gives an indication that the idea or statements you are making is from an alternative source. If we read a passage and want to learn more about the reference, we can refer to the reference list, which comes at the end of a piece of research to get the full details of where this information was originally found. Tutors can use this to check your sources and ensure your understanding of the text, or you can use them to help when you're reading articles to find resources that may be useful to your research. As you can see in this demo, the author's surname in the main text can be found in the reference list. Whilst you may use a particular source, for example, Dennis, more than once in your main essay, you only need to put this reference once in your reference list. Just to note, you do not need to colour your citations. This is just for display purposes. They should be formatted like the rest of your text. So let's start by looking at what information you need for your in-text citation, which will be included in the main body of your assignment. Firstly, you need the surname of the author, the year of publication, and if you are referring to a specific page of a book, then you will need to include the page number, but that's not always required. And lastly, you need to put this in rounded brackets. There are different ways to include research in your own work. We will look at these next. The first way is by using a direct quote. A direct quote is when you take the author's words exactly as they were written in the text. Then you will need to use quotation marks around the author's words, as you can see here. This can then be followed by the in-text citation with the author's surname, year, and page number in brackets. We can insert in-text citations in various ways to suit our writing style. Here we have two examples. We can see that they both direct quotes by the inclusion of quotation marks, but the in-text citation forms part of the sentence structure. This can help with the flow of your writing. As you can see, we are including the author's name in the sentence, but the year and page number are in brackets. These are examples of how you can adapt the formatting to best suit you and learn to integrate research into your essays. Direct quotes are useful when the original text cannot be rephrased or said better in another way. That being said, as it uses somebody else's writing voice, it can be jarring to the reader of your essay and doesn't showcase your understanding, so should be used infrequently. So, how do we include references if we should avoid quotations? This can be done with paraphrasing. Paraphrasing takes the original author's words and rephrases them in your own voice. So see the example here. Social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram have transformed the way political campaigns are run, allowing candidates to reach a wider audience and engage with voters in real time. This is quite wordy and could disrupt the flow of our essay. We can rephrase this into the following shorter sentence. Social media has become increasingly important in political campaigns. This still captures the meaning of the original, but in a much more concise style. It's very important when paraphrasing to keep the original meanings or findings. To complete this paraphrase point, we still need to put in an in-text citation, so include the author's name, year, and page if required. Paraphrasing is a skill and will take some time to become comfortable with. Rephrasing other people's ideas is difficult, but it can show the tutor that you have a greater understanding of the research and topics. we were looking at a larger idea, a book or theory, then we can use a summary to include this information in our research. Summaries take much larger pieces of text, such as the idea of climate change, and condense it. As you can see, we have used a summary of an idea surrounding global warming. The first summary is correct, but it only uses one citation. I have taken advantage of such a wide research area and included 3 separate citations in the second example. This lends weight to your argument, as 3 professionals agree with the same idea across different years. Just so you know, you do not need to limit yourself to 1 citation per idea and can use multiple to back up your work, just to be sure to include all of them in your reference list. A few extra notes when talking about citations that we haven't covered yet. If you're doing research on a website, there's a possibility that you cannot find the date. If you want to use a source like this, you need to question the credibility and if you could find a more reliable source elsewhere. But if you do decide your resource is reliable, you can enter N.D in place of the year. This addition clarifies that there was no date and that you didn't just forget to include it. Another problem that commonly occurs with students is if they cannot find the author of a piece of work. A lot of the time on particular websites, they may not have a named person as the author. Again, question the credibility, but if you choose to use it, now you can use the corporate author. Here we've used the World Health Organization, but it could be the National Health Service or the British Broadcasting Company. If you have a piece of research that has 2 authors, then you need to include the surname of them both. So here we've got an example, Enley and Moe. And if you've got multiple authors, depending on your specific Harvard style, check with your college or university handbook. You can include the term et al. After the first author's surname. It shows that there are more than 3 or 4 others and stands for and others. Don't forget to check out our Moodle page for more help with plagiarism and referencing, including our MPTC referencing handbook. We also have a referencing LibGuide which contains links to the specific university referencing guides and help with other forms of referencing. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or would like a one-to-one session on any of the topics we have covered, pop into the library or via email libraries@mptcgroup.ac.uk. Thank you. Bye.